Hello, YouTube, once more. So we'll see if anyone comes over from the live I just did of this deck. So today, on this video, we're going to be doing the Wise Earth Medicine Tarot walkthrough. I love the nice embossed kind of situation here. So this is put out by Wiser Books by someone called Lilania Simone. As you can see, there's actually some really interesting kind of patterning here. I love that attention to detail with the different shades of blue. This cover to me is really beautiful. I love the flower. I love the animal motif. And so I'll also show you guys the back here. So welcome back to anyone who just logged on. So it says, inspired by the powerful wisdom of the earth's animals, insects, and plant life. And we see a nice little preview here of the different type of cards that we get. So it says, Wise Earth Medicine Tarot draws upon Lilania Simone's indigenous ancestral knowledge to present the tarot as a form of earth medicine. Focusing on the animistic realm, this beautiful deck takes us on an internal vision quest where we learn the wisdom of all natural things. So my first comment would be, like, everything is animistic. Like, that's the point of animism, is that, like, this table, this chair, this couch, we can have an animistic approach to objects. That's what my first book is all about. Witchbody, which I'm sure you guys all already know that. So perhaps they meant like the animalistic world. I think that may would have been a bit of a better choice of wording. I know I'm being a little bit nitpicky, but that's what we do here. We nitpick because we are a Virgo rising. And so as we open the box, we see a little phrase. And so it says, may this deck help you tap into your own inner wisdom as you connect with the magic of the earth and all her creatures. And so I have noticed an increase of frequency of deck creators doing like this kind of really nice unboxing experience when we are getting some kind of like cute little inspirational phrase in here, which I like. Melissa says you've never heard of this deck. Yeah, I honestly hadn't either until it was given to me by the publisher. So full disclosure, this is a gift from the publisher. So yeah, I've actually never read with this before. And so you guys are going to be getting my unfiltered reaction to this. So here's the booklet. Yeah, on the back of this little line just says it can't be sold separately. So here we've got this. And so it starts obviously with the Fool. And so we're just going to start by reading this a little bit so we can get a bit of a lay of the land of what this deck is about. So this apparently came out in 2025. Bit of a different vibe from the last one. Very contemporary. Has a little dedication. Some kangaroos. Here we have got kind of table of contents. Don't love the graphic design, but that's okay. It's kind of nitpicky. I love this. Fox is beautiful. So let's just see what it says. So the Wise Earth Medicine Tarot. I'll try to open this up a little bit so we can see. So it says, the earth is a generous being, an incredible well of infinite wisdom. This powerful spirit provides for us every day in every way, delivering the sustenance we need to survive and thrive in our lives. The Wise Earth Medicine Tarot draws on this well of wisdom using the symbolism of the living creatures of this planet. By interpreting the language of the natural kingdom, this deck helps us tap into the medicine of plants and animals. The word medicine relates to that which makes us well or helps us find our internal balance. The medicine we receive through this deck is in the messages provided by the innate intelligence of life. Melissa says 50% watching for the deck, 50% for your graphic design commentary. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. You guys all know me by now. Just going to take a sip of water as we dive in. I'm going to encourage y'all to do so too. Hydration is important. Okay. The tarot offers visual doorways to our deeper selves, each card an artistic representation that calls to us, that beckons us to enter its story. As a tool for self-awareness and insight, tarot imagery has generally leaned heavily on us as humans, looking at representations of ourselves. Like, I agree with that, and I also don't. Like, there's a lot of animal decks, like a lot, and there's also a lot of animals in the Rider-Waite-Smith, as well as, I don't know, a bunch of other decks. Like the Wild Unknown is a very popular tarot deck, which I love. Speaking of which, she has her Animal Spirit deck, which I really, oops, I'm like dropping all my decks. In case you guys can't know this, there's like 10 decks I've got piled up next to me on this table. So I'll probably end up doing a walkthrough of this at some point because I love it. Kim Kranz is awesome. All of her shit is amazing. So speaking of graphic design, nailed it. But anyway, that's all we're talking about right now. That's what we're talking about. So yeah, I don't know if I agree with it that animals in the tarot is not common. I actually think animals is common in the tarot, but whatever. Blah, blah, blah. It is a method of engagement wherein like recognizes like, and we are more easily drawn in. So also, if anyone's watching live, feel free to let us know in the chat where you're watching from. So, and she says, in my first tarot deck, Tarot of the Cosmic Seed, which I actually have never heard of and don't know what that is. I'm sure it's very cool, but I don't know. If anyone is watching this and is familiar with that deck, please let us know. We take a deep dive into that human representation, taking the richness of who we are far past the Eurocentric origins of tarot imagery. I have some feelings about that. Like the tarot is European. So of course, if it's from Europe, the images in it are going to be European. That being said, I really don't care what anyone does in this year of, 2026. Like, please interpret it in your own culture, in your own way. I don't mind. But I think to criticize the original tarot for being European is like very silly. But anyway. My deck titled The Oracle of Awakening celebrates the diversity of humanity. Our ancestry, our cultures, our ethnicities, our shapes, our unique stories. Still tarot for people, about people, leaves our internal vision quest on a level immersed in our own species. Okay, so however, outside of our day-to-day human-centered experience, the earth has so much to tell us. With the wise Earth Medicine Tarot, the pathway for engagement is opened up to allow our spiritual and psychic intuitive journeys to move beyond humanness into a more animistic realm. So like my beef with this already. Sorry, guys. I don't like having beef. Like I think a lot of people think I like having beef, but I don't. So the word animistic is being used incorrectly here. Animistic does not mean animalistic. It does not mean living only. That is the whole point of animism, is that we're seeing animacy, or like the spark of like liveliness, let's say energetic liveliness, in non-living beings. That is the point of animism. And so for this person to be saying the word animism as just meaning animals, like that is not correct. And so I understand what they're trying to say, but it's just the wrong wording. And in my opinion, that should have been caught in like the editing stage of this, because now it's in the back of the box and now it's inside the book, and it's annoying me because it's wrong, but that's okay. And I agree with Melissa in the chat who was saying criticizing tarot for being created the way it was is a bit wild. It's like, I agree. Anyway, that's a whole rant. I could probably do a Sunday service about that for like 5 hours bitching about that. But anyway, let's try to stay on topic. Where were we? Okay. Okay. My hope is that this deck creates a bridge between the tarot and oracle traditions. These 78 cards are designed to adhere to the style and structure of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. Makes sense. The suits have been replaced and renamed with their elements. Okay, that's a choice. People rename suits all the time. Not my favorite, but whatever. You'll find traditional card interpretations as well as the earth medicine offered by each card. Yeah, Melissa says, and creating an animal deck and calling it animistic. Yeah, I'm like on one hand, it's like, do what you want. I really don't care. Like, I think there's enough room and abundance in this world for everyone to create the art that they want to create the deck they want to create. Like, it doesn't offend me in any way. Do your thing. Like, please. You've made a deck. I haven't. So, like, go for it. At the same time, it's like using the wrong words to describe things, which is factually incorrect. And then to be bitching about the tarot being European, I'm just like, okay, go off, I guess. Like, whatever. Anyway, to continue. So it says people of the earth have long attached practical and spiritual meaning to the presence of animals, insects, and plants In this way, each life form presented in this deck has been selected for its alignment to the tarot card meaning, but also has its own message and medicine that can be read as an oracle card. Okay. Unlike the Rider-Waite-Smith, these cards do not present illustrations that depict the meaning of the card, since each card represents the animal kingdom. Rather than an image depicting the meaning of the card, I have included keywords on each card for quick access to the meanings. These keywords will also guide you if you choose to work this deck as an oracle. May this deck help you, blah, blah, blah. And it says you are loved. How nice. So that's random. I don't know, y'all. So like as an illustrator, so I'll just make a little comment before we get into this. Like as an illustrator, you guys know my background is an illustration. Like I draw shit. That's what I do. And I like when those drawings communicate what is supposed to be communicated. And so I don't love it when the art is not supposed to clearly communicate what something is trying to say, especially with something like the tarot. It's like one of the most amazing things about the Rider-Waite-Smith, which this is apparently based on, is that the illustrations are expert. They're like so evocative. They're so intelligently constructed that even someone who knows absolutely nothing about the tarot is going to be able to understand like what's going on, right? Like for instance, with this is Rider-Waite-Smith, tarot card, devil. We might not know exactly what this means, but we can kind of get a bit of a vibe, even if we don't know anything about the tarot. So that's one thing I love about the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. And so it seems like she's kind of intentionally moving away from that communicative style of illustration. And it does look kind of, I don't know if how these images were created, if they're painted, collaged. We'll get to it. So, okay, then the little book has a quick overview. Let's see. Melissa says, it makes the deck look sloppy. Perhaps it is still a good deck, but it would discourage me from buying it most likely. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when we get into it. Okay, and then there are some spreads. You guys know how I feel about spreads. And we have, like, personally, this image is beautiful. I love the flower. I love the birds. Okay. So here we see this is kind of how the booklet is laid out. So before we go into each card one by one, which I'm definitely going to be doing, let us, well, I like this. That's kind of the other side of the box. Love that attention to detail. It's like a really nice, surprising, cool, pleasant reveal when we are taking all the cards out of the deck. So I do like that. And I do like that the blue is kind of, this little pattern is kind of continued on either side. I guess kind of like a dark purple on the inside there. So I do like that. And Melissa says, so far the colors are super vibrant and lovely. Yeah, I agree. And I like this back. Like, this is awesome. This is the back of the cards. Gorgeous. I also am loving this kind of shiny side of it. Like, this is really cool. And so I am noticing that this is more common these days for decks to have this kind of shiny, I don't know what this is called, but it's quite nice. Yeah, the emerald sides, Melissa says, never seen that before. Yeah, me neither. So I am liking that this is becoming like more of a common thing with some decks. There's some other decks I've been gifted by publishers in the last year that also had like a cool kind of situation. Melissa says definitely would not cut that off. Yeah, and speaking of that, this size is a lot more comfortable in my hand than the other deck that we just did. So to compare it with a typical Rider-Waite-Smith, here's the difference in size. So I'll show it on the back so you guys can kind of see a bit more clearly. Not as drastic a change in terms of the size. Still obviously a little bit bigger than the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, but manageable. Like, personally, I find this deck very manageable in terms of the size. I think in order for them to get these kind of like green sides, the cards did have to be perhaps a little bit thicker than the average would kind of be my thought on this. So it's a bit like thicker in terms of this. But I'm not minding it a ton. So for instance, to compare that, I just want to see if I'm right about that. Yeah. So this is a typical Rider-Waite-Smith that I've got here, minus the devil card. So it's still going to be pretty much the same size. So you can see that it is considerably thicker I think, to make room for this kind of green embossed, whatever the fuck you want to call that. I don't know. So that's just something to kind of be aware of. To me, it's worth the trade-off because I find this really stunning. Just my opinion. And then Gormonio, hello, welcome back. Says spiders are oracular animals. Yeah, there we go. So I do love that. And like the graphic design of this is also beautiful. Like I'm not gonna deny that. We love the back. Love that. Love the little sides. Very cool. And so we're starting off, of course, with the Fool, card 0. And then the keywords here are innocence, trust, and wonder. So you can see those keywords kind of listed there at the bottom. In terms of the graphic design of it, I don't love that typeface. Don't love it. Don't love it. Otherwise, I'm not mad about it. The 0 up there, I don't mind it. The graphic design of the monkey with the sun, nice. Flowers, nice. But let's see what the booklet says about our friend the Fool. And I'm sure those of you who are regular tarot readers will kind of be able to compare and contrast this with what you are used to, let's say, in terms of this. So again, here's the little booklet. So it says, the desire for adventure or the beginning of a journey. Deep trust is required here. You're being asked to take the leap, though exactly what is waiting for you is unknown. Aligned to the wonder that exists in every moment. Melissa says, love the image, could have done without those fonts on the white. Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit, I don't know, not loving that typography. But I don't mind the 0 though. I don't mind the way that's done. If this type down here had been treated that same way as the 0, I would not be mad about that. Like that's an option I personally would have liked to have seen as a designer. And then it says the medicine. So there's no reversals listed here. Interesting. It says the medicine. The monkey is here to share the joy of adventure and fun. Tap into the heart of innocence that lives within you and connect with your inner child. The monkey is brave because it knows it is held by the consciousness of Mother Earth and connected to all. It trusts in its abilities to navigate and adapt to the terrain. The monkey wants you to know that you've got this. Believe in yourself, and the universe will reflect your magic back to you. That's what it says. Melissa says, in this case, just a number would have been nice. I agree with you on that, to be honest. So I'm curious how this is going to be treated when we get to the minors. So interesting. Again, there's no reversal kind of listed here. I find this description, like, to be honest, like very generic. Oh, hi, Bella. Lilac Stars. Nice to see you here. Yeah, so I find the description here like very generic, like almost to the point of being kind of useless. Your mileage may vary. Maybe you do not agree with me on that. And I'm sure we're going to be doing a bunch more others as we're going through today. So if there is a card that you want me to stop on and read from the booklet, like please let me know and we will stop on it so that we can see maybe your favorite card or just a card that you're curious how this is interpreting. So let's continue. And so we're going to go through our walkthrough and go through all these different cards in this deck. And so next up, got the Magician, which says manifest potential and alignment. And then we have got High Priestess, which looks to be an octopus. And then it says mystery, sacred, and wise. Let's see. Next up, the Empress, which is some bears chilling. Creative, sensual, nurture. Gormonia says, it's my devil year. I'd like to see that card. Okay, cool. Well, we'll get there soon enough. And if anyone else, Bella says, I'm not liking this tiny print format. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and if anyone else has any other requests for cards, I'll read from the little book as we go through. So the Emperor. And to be honest, I find a lot of these illustrations very simple and kind of repeating the same imagery. So I wish that they had been a little bit more detailed. This is the Emperor, protect, provide, lead. Next up, we've got the Hierophant. A little like bonsai tree type of thing. Tradition, teachings, wisdom. Let's see. Oh, I like this. The Lovers. Union, harmony, love. I think that's my favorite card so far. I don't know what flower that's supposed to be, but I really like that. That's pretty. I like that a lot. So actually, let's take a pause. Let's read the lovers. And if anyone else has got any cards that you want me to read as we go through, make sure that you flag it. Melissa says that full moon is on every card. Pretty much, actually, now that you mention it. Yeah, it is. Hold on, let's see. So yeah, we've got the full moon on every card. And so we'll see. So maybe that is just the motif for the major arcana. I could see that being a choice. But as we go through, we'll find out. And you guys will find out with me in real time because I have not even opened this deck until now, basically. So we'll see. So if the moon is only on the majors, I feel like I can live with that. But if the moon is literally on every single card in the deck, then that is a little bit much. No, Melissa, nag away. That's what makes these lives very interesting. Bella says, I see what you mean with the background and circle behind it. Wait, that's a full moon. Yeah, I don't know. So, okay, let's see. So it says the lovers. So I do actually find this really stunning. I really love that. So it says, union, harmony, love. This card is a symbol of divine love that manifests in many forms. It may represent a committed partnership, a close friendship, or even your relationship with yourself. Is one of your relationships being acknowledged or deepening in some profound way? And then it says the medicine. This does not look like a rose to me. So it says the rose has long been associated with love and the divine feminine. The beautiful energy of this flower purifies the heart and clears distorted energy attached to false ideas of love. The rose encourages you to open your heart to divine love. We each carry this pure love in our hearts to share with ourselves and others. It's not the temperamental love that we associate with romance, but the unconditional love that sees all things as God, Goddess, source. So that does not look like a rose to me. It kind of like, Bella says it looks like a carnation. To me, it kind of looks like a dahlia or something. So that's a little bit nitpicky. Maybe there is some kind of rose that I'm not familiar with where this is what it looks like. Peony. Yeah, it does not look like a rose. It's beautiful, but it's not look like a rose to me. Who knows? The nitpicking continues. Oh my God, Melissa says, is that deck AI? I wonder. I have no idea. I don't know. Let me see if there's a copyright here for the artwork. It says the images are by the same person, Lelania Simone. So it says it's all copyright of her. So I don't know. I'm assuming it's all created by her. At least that's what it says. But it doesn't say anything about the art process. Let me look at the back. Let's see. No, it doesn't seem like there's any information on how the art was made. But it looks like it's some blend of digital and traditional. Or it could all just be digital painting. I honestly don't really know. I can't really tell. So that's something to look into for sure. Ooh, Melissa says, I feel like a lot of new deck creators are using AI and not disclosing it. I'd be curious who you're thinking of in particular, because that is a conversation I'm not really aware of. But even if you're comfortable sharing privately, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on who you think is doing that. Because I think, and it's happening in like books and stuff too. People are writing books with AI. And so it is something to be aware of. But just to be clear, I'm not alleging that this deck is doing that at all. We're just noticing that some of it doesn't quite match. Like that did not look like a rose to me at all. But whatever, we're continuing. So next up, we've got the Chariot, which is a bunny. Motivation, journey, willpower. I'm not too sure what that little scribble there is supposed to be. Kind of strange. Next up, we've got strength. Like gorgeous colors. Potent courage, resilience. Lilac Stars Bella says, this is so crazy. It does look a little similar to AI generated artwork. You know what? I hadn't even thought of that till you guys mentioned it. Let's see. Melissa says, didn't really notice anyone in particular, just browsing on Amazon, noticing bland computerized decks are coming out en masse. Yeah, so for legal purposes, I need to disclose. I am not accusing anyone of anything. I have no idea how this artwork was created, but the people in the comments are making certain observations. And so that's also something to think about too. Like as an artist, like if you are creating original works, and it is either inspired by AI or whatever, like that's something to kind of think about. Is it something people are going to notice? And who knows, maybe someone is just unlucky and their own natural art style does look like a lot of what AI is spitting out. Like that could also, I think that's probably also happening to some people, which is interesting. But I do think AI art is kind of harder to notice than AI writing. I think AI writing is like pretty clear. Yeah, it is interesting. And it brings this whole conversation around like, because if AI art is based on real art as well, then it's like, it's one of those things. Melissa says, this deck may very well not be AI. I have no knowledge of deck creation whatsoever. And Bella says, I love the strength card. I love the artwork, specifically the colors. Yeah, I love the colors here too. Very, very cool. But yeah, I don't know. But I think it is interesting though. And I think a lot of artists who make art digital, like I don't know if this is digital, but I think at least part of the process is probably digitally done, like with the collage and like, I'm just thinking of like the lines over the gradients, like some of this absolutely does look digitally created. And so I do think it is something that digital artists are especially going to have to think about moving forward in a landscape where a lot of people are anti-AI. And so if you make digital art, it's going to be a lot that's going to have to be part of the conversation. I think in a way that people like me who are painting everything from by hand and painting with a brush, like that is a very different style of artwork where it's very clear that it's made by hand. And so I don't have to necessarily think about making sure my work doesn't look like AI because it doesn't, because it was made by hand. And so if you do digital art, it is something I think people are going to have to start thinking about more. But anyway, Melissa says, back to the animalistic versus animistic. Is it a Chat GPT mistake? Something to ponder. Yeah, I don't know. But it's interesting. I've seen people messing up by calling Chat GPT like Chad GBT or Chat GBT. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, next up, the Hermit Meditation Retreat Self-Reflection. Melissa, yeah, I know. Everyone's got a new name for their buddy, Chat, aka Chad. Wheel of Fortune. We see the spider again. Show you guys really up close. Luck, change, destiny. Justice. We got a lion. Try to look at this up close. Yeah, it says truth, fair, universal law. Some different coloring there. Next up, the Hanged One, aka the Hanged Man. Pause, surrender, sacrifice. Next up, Death. Ooh, I like this one a lot. It says end, transformation, rebirth. I kind of get what you guys are talking about though, because it does kind of look like this style of digital painting that AI really loves to replicate. So yeah, I'm really not sure what the medium is on this. Some digital, absolutely. But I don't know. I don't know. Probably all digital would be my guess. Or if there was an original painting, it was like taken into digital. Oh, let's see. Bella says, can we read the Justice card? Curious why they chose a lion to be depicted. Absolutely. Melissa says, I like the art. There's no denying it's beautiful. It is nice. It's not like, most of it isn't quite like my style per se, but there is like a graphic design awareness of like the positioning of a lot of the elements, which I do like. All right, so going back to the Justice card for Bella really quick and just seeing what it says here. So, okay, so Justice, Lion, truth, fair, universal law. Okay, what goes around comes around. The Justice card connects us to natural law, karma, and justice. Our present moment is a result of our previous choices. Sometimes it is best to stay neutral in a situation, make decisions that are in the highest good of all involved. So the medicine, it says the lion represents integrity and honor. Its mighty presence inspires confidence and truth. When the lion comes into your life, it may be asking you to take a leadership role. Lion also encourages us to communicate with radical honesty, which balances the scales in unseen ways. So that's their thought behind that. Interesting. I think the vulture for death kind of probably makes sense without much explanation. Temperance, dragonfly, harmony, moderation, patience. The devil with a really pretty flower, poppy. So we will be reading this for you. Person who recommended this card, whose username I can't pronounce unless it's in front of my face. Okay, let's see. So the devil, poppy. I actually think this is really awesome. I love this. Okay, but I also just love botanical illustrations. I'm not too sure about the dots in the background, but whatever. It's being nitpicky. Yeah, Melissa, what deck do you read with? Because for me, it's like some decks switch them. You're saying it's kind of funny because 11 would normally be strength. So some decks switch them. And my typical preference is for strength to be 8 and justice to be 11. For me, the other way around does not make any sense. But some decks are kind of in the lineage that you're talking about. But okay, so the devil card, because it was requested that I read this. So indulge, addiction, impulse. The devil is a mirror that reflects the influence of the shadow. Are you caught up in negative patterns or being ruled by your temptations and desires? There may be deep healing needed here, but only you can do the work of self-forgiveness and self-love. You are already whole. The medicine. The poppy has a beauty that beckons you in. It's a potent and delicate flower. It also offers the allure of an altered state, one that can be addictive, because opium comes from the poppy. Poppy is also a symbol of birth and renewal. The message from the poppy is that the antidote exists in the poison. You are both the source of the habit that needs healing and release and the creator of the transformation you wish to bring forth. Interesting. And it's like, as a Canadian, the poppy always puts me in mind of Remembrance Day because everyone wears poppies to like remember all the soldiers. So I think it's kind of interesting. Like from an addictions, like heroin, poppy kind of perspective, opiates, drugs perspective, that does relate to the devil, obviously, because that card is very much about addictions. But so I get that. But my own Canadian lens is like Remembrance Day. Yeah, Bella's saying I love this take on the poppy and the devil card. Yeah, absolutely. Totally. To me, this makes sense, though, if we're just going to take it strictly as that relationship. Garmonia says, I'm in California, poppy is a state flower. I didn't know that. Melissa says, LOL, not me looking at the poppy print pinned on my coat right now. Oh my God, it's still in your coat, eh? Yeah, I had to take mine off because it was like stabbing me, the little like thing. Okay, so next up, we've got the Tower. Upheaval, change, breakdown. Oh, Garmonia says, I don't think it's the opium poppy, though. Yeah, I guess there's multiple different types of poppies. That makes sense. Okay, next up, these cards are kind of stuck together a bit. So next up, we've got the Star, Hummingbird. I wish this one had more detail. It seems a little bit too simple to me, though I really do love the flower. These all kind of look like wallpaper to me, like not in a bad way, like ornate, like Gucci wallpaper or something. It says purpose, inspiration, healing. Next up, we've got, oh, this is the cover of the deck. JD Astro popping in to say the California flower is the golden poppy. We're learning things today. Did not know that. Next up, we've got the moon, intuition, mystery, and shadow. I like this. Pretty strong image. Next up, we've got the sun. There's the peacock, success, joy, abundance. Pretty nice. We've got judgment. Little monarch butterfly. Awakening, redemption, liberation. And then we've got the world, aka the earth, wise earth, completion, integration, wholeness. Melissa says moon and sun cards are gorgeous. Flower. Yeah, I really wish I could kind of tell how this was made, but I kind of can't. Yeah, it looks like some kind of digital collage of like various elements type of thing. So, okay, now we move into the suits. And so now we can kind of see what is going on in terms of the, so this like circle motif, it does look like it's on all the cards, but it's not yellow in all the cards. And so if we're going to talk about graphic design, etc., putting a circle in every single card, I'm really not too sure about that. From a design perspective, like, I don't know about that. So let me just try to separate these by element because that's kind of how she has done this. These cards are sticking together because of the embossing or whatever the hell it's called on the edges. Okay, so we got water. And so these look like the circle is blue. And we'll go through these one by one. Melissa says, I guess that's why I thought the full moon was on every card because it looks like a moon on the moon card. Yeah, I guess because it's yellow as well. So that makes sense. And on that card, it does make sense as a moon because it's a wolf howling at the moon. But for all the other ones, it doesn't make as much sense. And I think when we use the same symbol on literally every card, it kind of reduces its potency a little bit. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's just, okay, let me just try to separate. So it looks like there's kind of like a purpley in the wind, aka air element. So let me just, okay, and it looks like this circle is red for the fire element. So these are going to be the wind. Fire is going to be this red circle. Okay, and then earth is going to be the green circle. So on the plus side, like that will kind of help people as they're reading be able to tell like what is the elemental balance in their reading, because if it's majors, it's going to be the yellow moon, and depending on the different suits, it's going to be a different color of circle to kind of like visually let everyone know what's the elemental balance of the suits and the minors versus majors in the reading. So on one hand, I could see that being like a useful thing to just be able to visually just have immediately. On the other hand, I don't know, mixed feelings. If I'm being a nitpicky jerk, as I often am. Anyway, let's talk about the suits. So let's do air first, because I think that makes sense. So we've got the Ace of Wind. It says creativity, love, origin. So this would be Ace of Swords, at least in my own cosmology. Two of Wind, choice, indecision, possibilities. Melissa says, I don't hate the colorful circles. Really curious how it reads. Yeah. I think in a spread, it would be an asset because it would give you a very clear idea of what the elemental breakdown is and like where your suit balance is at. Three of Wind, heartache, loss, separation. Four of Wind, rest, healing, prepare. Next step. Five of Wind, argument, dispute, intimidation. Six of Wind, purpose, transition, journey. And again, this would be the sword suit. Next up, 7 of Wind, Deceit, Theft, Trickery. The Seagull coming to fuck up your shit. 8 of Wind, Caged Bird, how sad. Restriction, Powerless, Victim. I think that's an interesting take on that card. Like, if anyone has in your mind the 8 of Swords, makes sense. 7 of Swords also makes sense with those two. Interesting. Next up, 9 of Swords, aka 9 of Wind. We all know this is a Nightmare card. We've got a Moth. Anxiety, Guilt, Fear. It's interesting. I think this card really works from a design point of view. Lilac Stars says, I'm not loving when decks deviate from the normal suits, aka Swords, Wands, Cups, Pentacles. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like, to me, like, the Elemental switch makes more sense than what I see in some other decks. So on one hand, it's like, it could be worse. Like, since this is supposed to be animals and plants and stuff, like, I get it that it's with the elements. It could be worse. But I know what you mean, Bella. I kind of generally feel the same way. So 10 of Wind, aka 10 of Swords, Family, or Finality, Betrayal, Death Process. Finality. 10 of Swords, one of the most unpleasant cards. Close up. All right, and then we've got the core cards. Page of Wind. Ideas, Curiosity, Communication. Melissa says not a fan of deviations either, but elements don't bother me too much. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Next up, Knight of Wind. Passion, Drive, Ambition. Queen of Wind. Honesty, Clarity, Maturity. King of Wind. We get these in my backyard a lot. Blue Jay. Authority, Rules, Intellectual. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's that suit. And then next up, we're going to do the fire suit. So here we go. Ace of Fire. Red Murder Ant. Inspiration, Passion, Drive. So this would be like the Ace of Wands. Lilac Stars, you're curious of the King of Wind, like the Blue Jay that we just did. Because I can read that if you want. So this would be like King of Swords energy. So yeah, let's read it. Why not? Melissa says, I wish the plants we see in most cards would also be picked for specific purposes, but it doesn't seem like it. If it is, it doesn't seem like it's listed in the description. So for instance, like with the dragonfly, there is a plant in that with temperance, but it doesn't seem like it's listed what that flower is. So if there is a reason for it, which there might be, I have no idea. Like, it's not listed in here. So that's definitely something to kind of keep in your brain. So let's go to the King of Wind, as Bella was saying. Okay. So King of Wind, Blue Jay. So we can see. So it says, Authority, Rules, Intellectual. The card of intellectual power. This card may represent military or law enforcement. I have no idea why Blue Jay would be representing that, but whatever. Melissa says such a missed opportunity with the flowers. Yeah, I agree. Like, I understand it, though, because it's like on some hand, it's like decorative. And flowers are a very easy, like, decorative motif just to balance out the illustration. Like, totally get it. But it does seem like less intentionally stated in terms of the symbolism than the other deck that we were just looking at, the Druid Animal deck, which does seem very intentional on those plants. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So anyway, it says, you will need self-discipline to bring your vision to fruition. With great power comes great responsibility. This king may refer to a strategic person with a brilliant mind. The medicine. The Blue Jay is a very intelligent bird. It learns from its environment and adapts quickly. It encourages you to be bold and courageous and seize opportunities that feel aligned. The Blue Jay is a great communicator and reminds you to be intentional with your words. Sometimes you'll need to speak loudly to be heard. Other times, silence and stealth are needed. So Gormonio says, are Blue Jays the cops of the forest? I have no idea. Like, I don't think so. Because, like, Blue Jays are literally in my backyard in downtown Toronto. Like, not really downtown, but, like, downtown enough. Like, I'm not in the suburbs. I'm not in the country. And there's Blue Jays here. And Blue Jays, of course, is also our baseball team. But, like, I don't think Blue Jays are the cops of the forest. Melissa says Blue Jays are super territorial. Okay, well, there you go. But even then, like, for me, the King of Swords isn't really about being territorial. So it seems like a bit of a reach, maybe. I feel like there's other birds that would have been more, like, hardcore. But I'm not a bird expert, you guys. So if anyone is a bird expert. Gormonio says, I've had them steal food from me when I've been camping. But isn't that like most birds would do that? I feel like most birds would do that, but maybe that's not true. Yeah, I have no idea because I don't camp. No shade on anyone who does camp, but it's not for me. I respect it, though. I respect it. Yep, I don't know. Anyway, Ace of Fire, we've got this ant situation. Melissa says, slowly turning into a bird watcher millennial. Help. You know what? I feel like I'm going to get into bird watching one day, too, because there's so many birds. There's just so many birds. Gormonio says, ravens can open zippers on backpacks. I did not know that. It's pretty epic. I respect it. Yeah, a lot of these creatures are very smart. Like in Toronto, one of our main creatures is the raccoon, and the city of Toronto has been constantly redesigning the garbage bins so that raccoons are not able to open them. But it's like the raccoons figure it out every time, like how to get it open. They're smart. So there's definitely raccoons in my garbage bin outside, that's for sure. They eat all the scrappy food. So anyway, next up, Two of Fire, okay, Two of Wands, prepare, intention, courage. Interesting because camels kind of make me think of traversing the desert. And then the Two of Wands, if we're remembering, there's the guy holding the world in his hand. So it's interesting, prepare, like thinking about, I don't know if I 100% agree with that symbolism, but like, interesting. It's an interesting take. And I respect everyone, their ability to make their own interesting opinion. I think that's totally fine. Three of Wands, Three of Fire, expansion, progress, accomplishments. Interesting. I see where they're going out with this. Again, I don't know if that would have been my choice, but I get the logic. Next up, Four of Fire, Four of Wands, mushrooms. I wonder if there's a specific kind of mushroom. Unity, harmony, stability. Let's find out, because to me, this is very much like a marriage tarot card. And also, I'm off mushrooms now, you guys. I didn't think it would ever happen, but mushrooms have started to kind of gross me out. I had a mushroom dish the other night, and I could only eat 2 bites. I felt nauseous. Couldn't do it. And I used to be a big mushroom person. So it just says mushroom. It doesn't say the type of mushroom. So it says unity, stability, harmony. This card represents the building of firm foundations and the experience of joy, support, and security. Enjoy a celebration with loved ones. The finish line has been reached, the goal attained. It may also refer to a wedding, birthday, or other milestone. The medicine. The mushroom is a wonder in itself. The unseen support system of its underground network of mycelium is vast and wide. It connects the mushroom to many other life forms. The message from the mushroom is an affirmation of overwhelming support for you and your endeavors. You are seen and you are being held in the arms of the universe. Be confident in yourself and your choices. Celebrate your milestones. You deserve it. Okay. I think sometime a year or two ago, I also did an unboxing of a mushroom tarot deck. So it'll be on here somewhere. It's been a few years since I did that. I can't remember the exact name of it, but if you look mushroom deck in my history here, you guys will find it if you're a mushroom person. And that deck was really interesting because it actually did break down the different types of mushrooms and associate them with different things, which I think was pretty cool. Lilac Stars is the pairing of mushrooms, the Four of Fire. Yeah, it's an interesting choice. For sure. That's one thing I like about encountering decks from artists and other creators, because it's even if I don't agree with everything, it's still really valuable to see and be exposed to other people's interpretations and opinions on each of these cards and each of these things. So I think that is valuable, even if it's a disagreement. You know what I mean? It's you can kind of get to see okay, here's where they're coming out with that, etc. Next up, 5 of Fire, aka 5 of Wands. Tension, conflict, competition. 6 of Fire. I don't know what plant this is. I wonder if it's Bay Laurel, because it's like a victory leaf wreath vibes. 6 of Fire, 6 of Wands, triumph, achievement, recognition. Let's find out. Let's find out, you guys. Yeah, Bay Laurel. Laurel tree, success and victory. Ancient times, laurel branches were woven into crowns, symbols of success and victory, blah, blah, blah. Makes sense. Makes sense. I get that. All right, next up, Hedgehog for a 7 of Wands, aka 7 of Fire. Defense, determination, steadfastness. Next up, 8 of Fire. 8 of Wands makes sense. Horse, speed, power, intensity. I got that. And Melissa says 100% agree. Sometimes some cards in the same deck will be a miss for me, but others will make so much sense. Yeah, totally. And I think that's the beauty of it. Like, and that's part of why, like, I hope no one's ever mad at me for doing these critiques, because it's like, do your thing. Like, I think everyone needs to be creating art and making cool stuff, and critique is not a bad thing. It's like, let's just have a nice fun chat about the different positions that like we're coming from and our different interpretations. Like, there's room enough for all of us to have our own interpretations of this stuff. Melissa says, I've never met a deck that was a complete disappointment. Yeah, I would agree with that for the most part. For the most part. I think there's some that definitely don't resonate with me at all, but like I understand like where they were going at with it. 9 of Fire, 9 of Wands. Resilience, persistence, stamina. Makes sense. And then 10 of Wands. Overwhelm, burden, responsibility. Page of Fire, aka Wand, Salamander, enthusiasm, potential discovery. This one seems a little bit phoned in. Like, the flowers are beautiful, but I wish the salamander had been like more detailed. A little bit. Knight of Fire is Zebra. Motivation, adventure, high energy. Queen of Fire, friendly, leadership, and confidence. And I guess this is a lily, tiger lily. Melissa and Belly both like the 10 of Wands, the llama with all the stuff. Yeah, Queen of Fire, friendly, leadership, confidence. Next up, King of Fire, charisma, inspired, potent. It looks like a little beetle holding the sun. All right, next up, we've got water. It always takes much longer to go through the tarot cards than it does the oracle cards, eh? Ace of Water, Ace of Cups, new love, conception, open heart. Is this a goldfish? Let's find out. Or is it just a fish? Or is it a koi fish? Looks like a goldfish to me, but no, it's supposed to be a koi fish. Okay, we'll go with it. Goldfish, koi fish, whatever, same thing. Something new is being birthed into your life, an idea, or maybe a relationship. It can also reflect a new appreciation for yourself or a deepening of your connection with spirit. You're overflowing with creative, divine, magical energy. Explore the romantic side of you. The medicine. The koi's sacred fish, it symbolizes the water dragon. Its presence is soothing and inspires reflection and meditation. Brings the energy of blessings, luck, and prosperity. Rejoice in knowing that beautiful experiences are unfolding for you and around you. Activate gratitude often. Makes sense. All right, next I've got the seahorse for the 2 of Cups, 2 of Water. 2 of Water, partnership, harmony, attraction. 3 of Water, joy, friendship, celebration. Stingray, manta ray, something. One of those. Got a pearl clam situation. 4 of Cups. Contemplate, detach, distracted. Can we read the 2 of Water? Yeah, we can, Bella. Hold on. So let's just grab that. Okay. All right, so Two of Cups, aka Two of Water, Seahorse. Partnership, harmony, and attraction. This card is a symbol of shared values and mutual respect between two people, a strong connection and relationship that embraces the energy of balance and appreciation. This card can also be a deepening of self-love and the act of self-care. The medicine. The seahorse is asking you to cultivate beautiful, nurturing relationships and partnerships. It is a creature that understands emotional balance and reminds you to be patient with yourself and others. Seahorse also invites you to pay attention to your own values and needs. Cherish yourself. You are a unique creature in the cosmic ocean of life. You are the center of your universe. I don't know. This is kind of my beef with these descriptions. I do feel like they're kind of generic, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay. Turtle. I love turtles. 5 of Cups, 5 of Water. Sorrow, regret, and loss. And I would never associate turtles with sorrow, regret, or loss, actually. So let me look at that. I mean, would you guys associate? Okay, so it's saying that they're choosing the turtle because the protective shell allows you to go inwards and like heal from your shit or whatever. I don't know. I feel like there's a better choice for that. To me, the turtle has really not got anything to do with that, but that's okay. It's okay. There's room on this planet for all of our interpretations. 6 of Water, aka 6 of Cups, innocence, nostalgia, comfort. Jellyfish, 7 of Cups, options, discernment, illusion. Jellyfish is my favorite thing to watch at the aquarium. All right, 8 of Water, aka 8 of Cups, withdraw, letting go, higher purpose. It's a breakup card, at least how I read it. So it's interesting. 9 of Water, starfish. Abundance, gratitude, wish granted. That's cute. 10 of Water, aka 10 of Cups, family, stability, emotional fulfillment. One of the nicest cards in the typical Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Page of Water, dreams, inspiration, creative energy. This is some kind of wacky fish. Don't feel like looking up what it is, so we're just going to keep moving. Knight of Water. Let's see, wait. Bella says, I don't think I would pick the sea turtle with the 5 of Water either. It feels like they're pairing aquatic marine life with the water suit, which makes sense. Yeah, I feel like that's what they're doing. But I agree. Like, I don't think the animal symbolism really makes sense there. I would have to think about what I would choose, but it wouldn't be that. Knight of Water is the otter. I can get where they're coming from with this. Romance, emotion, imagination. Queen of Waters looks like a dolphin, intuitive, flow, empathetic. The King of Water, diplomacy, compassion, emotional balance. Some kind of squid situation. All right, and then next up we've got the Earth, the last suit that we're going to do. Let's sip some water first. I've been talking to you guys for a whole hour. It was a long time. Oh my god, it's almost 3 Eastern time. Crazy. All right, we got the Ace of Earth. Looks like a rattlesnake. Opportunity, stability, beginnings. Actually, I love rattlesnakes and snakes. Growing up in Colorado, hella snakes up in there. There's like a scene of that in my new graphic novel. Let's see, what do we say about this? Oh, good, there is a raccoon here. For the 5 of Pentacles, that doesn't make any sense to me at all, but we'll get to it. All right, Ace of Earth is the snake. And it just says snake. It doesn't even say rattlesnake. I mean, hello, there's so many different types of snakes, and it's clearly a rattlesnake. So anyway, it says opportunity, stability, new beginnings, the card of opportunity, manifestation in the material world. Be intentional about what you are bringing forth with your thoughts, words, and actions. This is not really a thoughts, words, and actions card, but okay. There's great potential surrounding you at this time. That makes more sense. Okay, so it says the medicine. The snake is a very powerful omen. When it comes to your life, pay attention. It is portal energy and is connected with death, birth, and healing. The snake's whole body is directly connected with the earth, exchanging energy and wisdom with the Great Mother in every moment. You have access to this energy now. Make great use of the opportunity, what is uncoiling within you. So I feel like I understand what this person is saying, like that the deck can be used as a tarot deck or an oracle deck or as both. Like I get that. I've seen other people try to do that. With like varying degrees of success. Like I think sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like it's an ambitious undertaking, and yeah, I think it doesn't always quite land. And I think the rattlesnake specifically, if that is the snake, like it would have been easy to just do a garter snake or something, but a rattlesnake to me, like, it's like shaking the rattle to kind of warn you to fuck off. Like there's so much symbolism with each type of snake, and some of these are so specific. Like the next one is the Two of Earth is passion flower. So it's not just like flower, so it doesn't make sense to me as just snake. It should be rattlesnake or something. You know what I mean? So to me, there is like something incongruous with this deck where it's like some of these creatures are so specific, how it's not just bird, it's blue jay. It's like there's a type of bird that is specifically talking about that energy, even if we might not agree about that. So I don't know. It seems a bit incongruous. Like, the attention to detail is like not evenly spaced throughout this deck, I would say. That's my nitpick. So let's also talk about this. Because the Two of Pentacles, Two of Earth, balance, adaptable, multitasking. You may be extra busy and handling many things at once, but you're able to manage the situation with grace. This card also represents the energy of feeling alive, joyful, and full of energy. It doesn't really, but okay. Multiple opportunities may represent themselves at once. The medicine, the passion flower is used as a botanical treatment to ease stress, anxiety, and insomnia. Its message is one of balance. You may be skilled at managing the current complexity of your situation or life in general with ease, but make sure you take time for deep breaths, grounding, and other self-care practices, blah, blah, blah. Like, to me, that has absolutely nothing to do with the Two of Pentacles at all. And so to me, like, this is part of where decks like this have like this weakness, right? Where like that might be a really great card to pull, let's say, for a typical oracle deck, if it's going to be an animal oracle deck or like an earth oracle deck or whatever, wise earth medicine oracle deck, that would make more sense than associating this with the Two of Pentacles. Because to me, that has absolutely nothing to do with Two of Pentacles at all. And if you guys are hearing this, reading tarot, you probably will agree with me. If you don't, let me know. It's fine. But like to me, this just doesn't make a ton of sense. And so it's like the blending of the two like just doesn't land. So I actually really feel like this whole thing would have been much better as an oracle deck that was just arranged by element. And then with the major arcanas being under the realm of like spirit or something like that. Like I could see it working much better as an elemental deck that was inspired by, let's say, tarot structures. But I honestly am thrown off by this. Anyway, moving on. So Three of Earth is a little cute fox. Collaboration, support, reward. Next up, Four of Earth, Four of Pentacles. Little squirrel. That makes some sense. Control, conserve, materialism. Okay, this raccoon looks like it is about to cry, which is making me very bummed out because I really love raccoons. Five of Earth, without, lost, and excluded. Sad about that. So let me see. So I actually really, before I read this, let me explain why I don't agree with this. So Five of Pentacles, as you guys know, probably, maybe you don't. So actually I'm going to find it in my typical deck here. So the Five of Pentacles, it's a very bummer card. It's like financial hardship. It's being excluded financially. It's being ostracized out of your environment. Loss. It's like the only card that shows physical disability in the Rider-Waite-Smith. it really is like a dire card, especially when it comes to finances. So it's like scavenging, which I guess is what they're trying to go through with this, but it's also like this is often loss that is like you're not able to get over it immediately. Whereas raccoons, like they're fat. In my neighborhood, the raccoons are fat and happy and they're eating everyone's shit all the time. So the raccoons, even if they're out in the wilderness doing their thing, they are successfully getting all of their stuff. They are, they're participating in the ecosystem. They are not this kind of bummed out vibe, Yeah, raccoons are digging through your garbage, but like all the raccoons in my neighborhood are fat. Okay. And that's not because anyone is feeding them. It's because they're so resourceful. So they are not going to have that energy of the 5 of Pentacles. They're just not, so I find that a very strange choice. So it says this card might mark a time when money and resources are scarce, possibly from unexpected changes or the loss of a job. It can also signify the feeling of being excluded from something. Has there been a break of some sort? It's okay to ask for help? And it's like, yeah, the raccoons, people do try to keep them out, but it's like they never stay out. You cannot keep a raccoon out of anything. And so in many ways, like the raccoon is not about like being pushed out or lost. It's about like resilience, craftiness, like being able to make it work no matter what. Like that's what raccoons are about. Like they're so smart and they get out of any drama. Like they, they're not crying about being locked out of the garbage. They are getting it into the garbage at any means necessary. Very weird. So it says the medicine. The raccoon is a mischievous animal to get itself into trouble, but figures out how to get itself out again. The message of the raccoon is that you have resources you need within you to transform your situation. It's okay to take off your mask and be vulnerable with yourself and others so you can discover your potential to overcome challenges. There is a benefit for you in this situation. So I kind of get, I get it, but like for me, it's not like it's not an easy fit. Like it's not like a hand in a glove where it's like, yes, this makes sense. It's like, there's a bit of some reaches I think that are happening here. But again, I'm sure it's going to be like the perfect fit for somebody. And again, I do respect anyone who busted their ass to make a deck because I have not yet busted my ass to make a deck. So I totally get it. 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Earth, the Elephant, kindness, giving, receiving. And to me, this card isn't even about that necessarily. And we're getting a bit into the weeds here. Because the card Rider-Waite-Smith for the 6 of Pentacles, we have this dude giving money, and then these people on the ground are like, please give me the money. I need to like bow to you to make that happen. And so there's a power difference with this. So if I'm gonna bitch, I might as well look it up in the book. So let's see. And there's no acknowledgement of that in this at all whatsoever. So whatever, I guess that's fine. But I want to show you guys what I'm talking about for any tarot newbies who are like, what is this lady going on about? Just so you can kind of see what I mean, because that power difference is a massively important part of how to read this card, right? It's not just generosity. I mean, do the math yourself. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. So clear I have some beef with some of these, but that's okay. So 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Earth, tending, patience, growth. Some beautiful art there. 8 of Earth, looks like a hyena. 8 of Pentacles. Skillful, mastery, talent. Also, we've got a little cat. 9 of Earth, 9 of Pentacles, luxury, pleasure, independence. 10 of Earth, kangaroos, security, wealth, completion. Next up, Page of Earth, panda. Manifesting, learning, grounded. Next up, Knight of Earth. Dedicated, diligent, methodical. Queen of Earth. Like a water lily or something. Generous, caring, comfort. Next up, King of Earth. Gorilla. Mature, dependable, success. That's the deck, y'all. We did it. We did it. I felt like that was really long, an hour, 10 minutes. But I appreciate everyone being really chatty so that we can talk out some thoughts. So I've never used this deck to read with, so I don't really know how it reads or like how it would feel to put a spread out. Will I work with this deck? Probably not. Like maybe once or twice just to kind of see how it goes. But I don't really see it becoming like a regular deck in my regular rotation personally. But I'm sure there's going to be people for whom that is like it. And that's, I think, the beauty of being an artist in today's world is like everyone is going to have different art that resonates with them and different decks that resonate with them for whatever reason. So okay, I need to give my voice a break because I feel like I've been talking now for quite a long time. So thank you so much for spending some of your afternoon with me. I appreciate it. And I know I was supposed to do Sunday service yesterday. I was going to do it today, but decided to do this instead. And so I'll probably do a belated Sunday service tomorrow on Tuesday. So it'll be Tuesday service. Yeah. So if anyone does not know what Sunday service is where I talk about a random spiritual or self-help or wellness topic for an hour or two and just shoot the shit with y'all. So it'll probably happen around like 11 or so, 11 a.m. Eastern. So stay tuned. I don't really know what I'm going to be talking about yet, but something interesting probably. And if anyone does want a tarot reading from me with this deck, you can do so. SabrinaMScott.com/readings. And I am still doing year ahead readings. If that is something that's interesting to you or just a normal reading, that's okay too. Whatever you want. You know what to do. And that is all, my friends. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. Let me know what you thought of this deck. Do you agree with our spicy criticisms if you're watching the replay or not? Please let us know. I will never be offended if you guys disagree with me. It's all good. We're all just here to learn and chill together. Gormonio says, this was great. Thanks, Sabrina. No problem. Thank you so much, Gormonio. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I appreciate y'all being here. As I know, I am still kind of figuring shit out on YouTube. I'm still pretty new to it. So we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. And if there's any requests or anything, please let me know. And thanks also, Gormonio, for being in the last video where we talked about this deck and letting us know that there's a tarot deck about that. You made up that name when you were 22. Awesome. I also had some like very silly internet names when I was young, but love it. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you guys in the next one and I'll chat with y'all soon, and much love. Take care, guys. Bye.